Hey guys, I hope you're all having an awesome day. I am going to do a video and kind of check in, see what messages we need, kind of what's going on with the energy, anything that Spirit needs us to know. Immediately, as soon as I just said that, they're like solar plexus. Like a lot of us are working on solar plexus chakra right now, combined with our heart chakra and throat chakra, and crown chakra. Apparently, we're working solar plexus up because basically what they just said to me, as I said, that was we're working on our confidence, we're working on empowering ourselves and like loving ourselves and seeing our areas where they're saying like there's going to be different situations that are coming up to help you with understanding the areas where you're lacking confidence, where you're lacking a self-esteem or things like that. And so a lot of it has to do with past traumas and past relationships or with family and things like that. So kind of what they're saying is we're going to be working on that and how it relates to the heart and allowing ourselves to open our heart up more and more and more. They're saying like a lot of us are going through big heart chakra upgrades. So it's starting with the solar plexus chakra. I love how I saw 111 new beginnings. With that is having the confidence to be able to have that conversation where, look, this is an area where I'm not feeling confident. This is an area where, maybe I do lack, like a self-esteem or feeling worthy or feeling enough and things like that. And what they're saying is this is you taking situations and going within and trusting your intuition rather than past experiences and fears and getting out of the overthinking in your head. But a lot of it is really stemmed around the solar plexus. So you might be having digestive issues, needing to go to the bathroom more, being constipated. You might be having like cramping in your stomach, just like indigestion, heartburn, feeling like not hungry at all, feeling like starving or wanting to change your diet, things like that. They're also saying right now, a lot of us are doing self-love stuff and a lot of healing. So there are triggers that are coming up. It's interesting because as they're saying this to me, I get this feeling, and it's actually been happening to me for the last probably week or so, where it's like they're there working with you, but it doesn't feel like it's divinely guided as much. You can't feel the intensity of the energy being sent to you. It's like it's almost like a different phase of lessons that we're learning or a different phase of things we're healing. And it feels like Spirit's kind of taking a back burner and allowing the situation, they're, guiding the situations. But once the situations come up, they're not sending you the energy. They're wanting you to work through it on your own. And all of the tools you kind of learned over the last few months, the last few years with all of the awakenings and with all of the things that you've been healing and working on and growing. They're saying don't hold on to the past as far as situations and using it to determine your future stuff. It feels like there's some fear energy with people kind of holding on to past situations and using it as like a roadmap or like a guide for future situations. So don't do that. They want you to realize like you are in a different place than you used to be. So you're making different decisions than you used to. And they're saying it's more so about trusting yourself rather than other people. Are you trusting that you're making choices for your highest good? Are you trusting your intuition when it comes to other people? Are you, listening to what it is that you need and value? And are you actually standing up for yourself in those areas? And as long as you are, that's the only guide you really need. You don't really need to look at any of the other stuff. Okay, wow, those flew out. Okay. Yeah. So we got wild on the bottom. So this is really about like freeing ourselves and things that like hold us back. And this is what the message is starting, is really freeing ourselves from this. So we got the home card, letting go, home and letting go. And we got rejection and help from above. And they just reminded me of this as I saw this card. I forgot to post it. It was, what is today? Today's Monday. It was Saturday before, when I was going into the shop, they gave me a message and I got so busy like before and afterward. And I was out the whole day, like just completely forgot to post it. But they were saying that we have water energy coming in right now. So I was like, what does that mean? And basically they said, we're about to go through a big emotional purging and releasing. So it kind of, I guess, makes sense with this message anyway. But yeah, we're going through a big emotional like release, like a huge emotional release. So you might be having weird feelings. I know for me, I've been getting this like almost very disconnected, numb feeling I don't like feeling that way. I love feeling my emotions, but other people, I mean, I'm generally a pretty emotional person. So other people, kind of what they show me is a lot of people crying or releasing in that aspect. For me, I mean, that has come up for me too. Obviously I cried earlier. I probably cry almost every day. No, not every day. Probably a few times a week though. I love crying. It feels so good. I used to hate it, but now I'm like, I still don't like crying in front of people, like if I'm out in public or something like that. But, yeah, there's a lot of like water energy coming in. There's a lot of like emotional clearing and stuff coming in. Okay, so with the home and letting go card and with rejection and help from above. Okay, so what I'm getting is this is people holding on to kind of what I said in the beginning. It's like these past feelings of I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. So like if your parents didn't really value you or show you value in the way you needed it as a child, where they didn't maybe console you when you needed to, they didn't give you the love you needed, they didn't give you the communication you needed, the, you know, physical support you needed, whatever it was, Spirit's like trying to guide you to stop holding on to the past. Like understand it was a lesson and let it go. Understand that everybody has their own lessons to go through and they're never personal against you, even though it sometimes feels that way, especially when it's, you know, emotional situation. But it's not. Like I don't want to say it's never, but most of the time it's really not. Most of the time it's because they, you know, look at it like a parent or something like that. So for me as a kid, I always wanted to be hugged when I was upset. My parents never did, but you know, one of the things with my dad that I realized is his parents aren't really like that with him at all. So, you know, it made me kind of be understanding, but then I took that as like, I will not be that way. And so I am not that way. But you know, there's, you know, difference in maybe like mental maturity, or there's a difference in, you know, actual awareness. And sometimes we are aware of these things so we can heal them in our family lineage. Whereas maybe our parents were the ones who came here to give us that lesson and teach us that. And then, so from us changing that within ourselves, they actually see us and change that within them. So it's not something where it's like, well, why couldn't my parent do this or love me in the way I needed to? You know, I can do this for my kids. It's more so that they didn't necessarily have that strength to be able to do it, and you do. And so sometimes sometimes it feels bad, like, why am I always the one who has to fix everything and change everything and help everything? But sometimes that's your purpose here. Not to fix people, but like to heal yourself. So sometimes that's your purpose here, to end cycles within the family and to heal different things. And so the biggest thing I think with this situation specifically is those feelings of rejection, where you felt rejected from your parents, where you felt rejected from maybe a job, where you felt rejected. A lot of you, it feels relationship stuff. And some of it can be like teenage relationships or middle school relationships, where, you know, you maybe really were into somebody and they rejected you for a certain reason, or they said something to you that really stuck with you. A lot of this rejection feels like very subconscious. And what I'm getting is that's what's coming up. Like Spirit is bringing that up to clear out and to help you. So they're bringing people in right now. And I do get a lot of that soulmate energy coming in still, where it's people that are your soul family and your soulmates that are here to actually guide you and help you with healing this, with seeing you, you know, in the way that you've always wanted to be seen, with showing you, you know, how much they value or appreciate you, probably like with communication, with trust, with different areas where maybe there's been some like lack in your life. You have people who, hi Sage, you have people who are coming in right now who she's just walking all over everything, who are coming in right now to guide you to healing these areas. So, you know, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and I'm not sure exactly why Spirit wants me to bring it up. So I'm guessing somebody just needs to hear this. But I had this conversation last night, and I was explaining that when I went to therapy a few years ago, my therapist had told me about the specific thing I was going through. In order for me to heal it, I needed to be in a relationship to heal it. And I looked at him and I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody to heal this. Like, that's like crazy. I want to do it on my own. And he said, there are some things you can't do on your own. And I thought, I was like, you know, fuck that, like whatever. I realized he was right. I was wrong. He was definitely right about that. I've realized even within my relationships with friends where there are things that I couldn't have healed on my own had they not mirrored something to me, or, you know, if there was an area where I was struggling with, I can't think of anything specific, but an area where I was struggling, where I was able to open up to them and get what I needed to be able to feel that, oof, okay, I guess we're doing crying again. Needed to feel that worthiness, like with them. And so I think the thing is, like with relationships and what I get from spirit is like the soulmates that are coming in right now, it's to help us with healing these areas where we felt rejected as like kids or teenagers, even as adults, and helping us like healing and releasing that. So, okay, let's move on to the fairies. Okay, moon energy. Hold on, I want to read this one. Surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. Interesting. I actually think I've been feeling really confused lately. So I've been confused about kind of what's going on. I feel like for me personally, I'm like cocoon, like out of cocoon, but not fully, you know, butterfly wings spread. And I feel like I'm in like a void right now. And I'm just kind of sitting in it and just allowing it to be, but I'm just confused, like what's going on. But one of the things I learned over the last few months is even when there's discomfort and even when there's unknown, you know, don't try to control it, just allow it to be. And if you're uncomfortable, like there's probably something you're releasing or something you're needing to learn or know, or the next step's just not ready, you know, whatever. So even if you're in that confused state of mind, or there's not a lot of movement, you know, on the front end, that doesn't mean there's not stuff going on behind the scenes. So, tree wisdom. This tree dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sound it makes. Interesting. I definitely get that one is for you guys to go outside more and be like amongst the trees. Or if you have water near you, that too. But for some of you specifically, going near the trees and going outside, like I always tell people, I sit like my ass on the ground. Like I don't sit in a chair. Most of the time I sit my butt on the ground with my bare feet and I let the energy kind of come up into me. Sometimes just doing that, or just going and sitting within the trees, like in the middle of them, not in the tree. Well, you could do that if you're not afraid of falling, but in the middle of the trees actually can give you a lot of clarity and energy, because the way your mind is processing. So, or not, it's actually releasing. Light. The fairy queen of light comes to shed love and light into your current situation and to remind you that light can penetrate the darkness. So, okay, we got like a few current situations. So there must be something going on collectively with this. Lost and found. What was once lost is about to be found, thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never even realized were lost. Immediately, what I got from spirit with this is self-love. Some of us where it's like this lack of confidence we didn't know we had, or this self-love we didn't know we were missing, where, you know, like for me personally, like I take care of myself, you know, I try to give myself a lot of love, I pamper myself, you know, I try to do romantic things for myself and all of that. And sometimes it takes a certain person or situation to make you realize that even though you are giving yourself that love, that there's still sometimes insecurities or lack of confidence in some areas. So, you know, relationships are catalysts for changes. And that's why I think they keep bringing up this soulmate energy coming up and coming forward. Some of you, it does feel like a romantic relationship. And some of you, it just feels like somebody who's a coworker coming in, or somebody who's like a friendship that you're going to, like somebody you're going to be friends with that's coming in. But it feels like these soul relationships are really going to be good, healthy learning experiences, and not in the past where maybe we learn from toxic partners. Like these feel like very healthy, good relationships that we're going to grow and learn from in a really calm, healthy way. Rather than like, so say a romantic relationship where somebody cheated on you, you know, and it brought out different insecurities. Maybe it brought up like childhood trauma of your parents cheating, things of that nature. You know, this is not going to be a situation like that. It's going to be like a situation where it's, you know, this person is going to, help you and guide you to feeling that self-love and confidence. But what I want to stress the importance of, it is your responsibility to do the work. Somebody can give you information. It's your responsibility if you're going to take it. You cannot expect anybody else to fix you or heal you. Relationships do bring about changes, but they're not, the intention is not necessarily for somebody to, let me rephrase that. The intention is not for somebody else to fix you. You are the only one who's supposed to be healing and fixing yourself. People can guide you, people can give you information, give you support and things like that. But it's important for you to see things on your own. And it's important for you to work through it. So when things are coming up for you with triggers and stressors, it's important for you to do introspection and reflect on, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? And where the relationship part comes in is, okay, I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling this discomfort because of A, B, C, D, whatever. You having that conversation and that openness with a person who's able to hear you, validate you, and offer you support. So now your feelings are validated and where you feel seen and heard outside of you. So you can take that in and say, okay, and process it in that way. Whereas maybe if you had a parent who didn't allow you to communicate your feelings, who didn't allow you to express yourself, now you're going to have a relationship, whether romantic or friendship, have a relationship where this person is able to actually validate your feelings and hear you and understand you. And that's where the change takes place. It's not necessarily the person is doing anything for you. In that sense, it's you're taking that in and you're doing the work on your own. And they're just there to kind of help you with actually healing it. I hope that makes sense the way I'm saying it. Okay. And anyway, have you guys been seeing animal signs like crazy? I was driving to the shop yesterday and I see two tortoises right next to each other in the road walking. This morning I look, I see some white birds flying by and I'm like, okay. And then a minute or two later, I see a crow flying with a hawk. I don't know if he was chasing it or they were just flying in a row. There was the hawk was flying in front and the crow in the back. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, okay. Crows are one of my spirit animals though. So situationally, they're not always, whenever I need the messages, they show up, but okay. Wow. Hold on. I just got some heavy energy. Not bad. Heavy in the sense of a lot of shifting is taking place with this situation. I want one more card. Hold on. I guess we're getting these two. Okay. And I love this. New beginnings is on the bottom. Okay. So starting this out, we have 8 of Michael and Queen of Gabriel. And I asked for these because I wanted to see, we got the Wheel, the Chariot, Lovers, and 3 of Gabriel. And those are 3 major arcana, so major energy. But I wanted to see what this had to do with, so that's why I was pulling extra cards. And so with the 8 of Michael and Queen of Gabriel next to each other, this is freeing yourself from situations, feelings, and things that have been holding you back. Things that you've held yourself back from doing because of trauma and fear and things that you've needed to let go of and really releasing it. What I also get with some of you is there is confusion kind of going on right now for a lot of us, where things are not really totally clear to us right now. You don't need to know it until it comes up. Whenever there's clarity that's supposed to come up, it's going to come up. But try not to hold on to it like I don't understand this and there's no clarity or there's confusion. Allow it to be what it is. When you need to make a choice or a decision, that is when the clarity will come for you, okay? If you're in a period where there's a lot of confusion, that's intentional by spirit and it's necessary for your journey. So try to let go of control and just let it be. But what I get from spirit is once you let go of all of these things that have been holding you back, these self-imposed restrictions, these feelings of, and we keep getting this message of not feeling worthy, not feeling enough. Once you let go of this and you free yourself, you're going to step into this power and you're going to step into this Queen of Gabriel power. And this is this really empowered, strong, man, obviously too, but this is this really empowered, strong ass female who's just I'm confident, I know what I want, and I'm not settling. And this is really getting out. It feels like a lot of you guys have maybe settled in relationships and jobs and friendships and all different types of things that really aren't for your highest good, that really are just more of a comfort zone for like childhood trauma. And this is coming out of that, and this is empowering yourself and saying like, look, I'm worth more than that. Like, I deserve more than that. Like, getting out, oof, I just got some energy, getting out of that big fish, small pond mentality. And actually Spirit's been kind of showing me my own stuff with that recently, how I've been kind of holding myself back and I could be doing more with some of my goals and stuff. So I really am grateful for that. But yeah, that's really what this is about. So what this is about, freeing ourselves and coming into our power. We got the Wheel, the Chariot, the Lovers, and the Three of Gabriel. Something is shifting right now. A lot of us are in a transitional, ooh, I just got so dizzy. A lot of us are in a transitional phase right now, so things are a little bit chaotic, maybe even if they don't feel that way. There's a lot of unknowns kind of right now. There's a lot of confusion right now. There's just a lot of like lack of clarity is probably the best way to say it. But that's because there's a shift right now, and they're saying this is current energy. So current from whenever you're seeing this, if not from when I record this. If you see this in 3 months after I record it or a year after I record it, this message is for you in that moment when you see it. But the wheel, what I'm getting is there's a shift we're going through right now where the wheel shifted, where we're in the end of cycles and we're clearing up some old cycles to bring something forward. It feels like a lot of us are in the end of a cycle and a new cycle at the same time. What I'm getting for that specifically is like the old cycle is still ending, but you're still in that. And the new cycle is beginning and you're starting this, and you're in kind of both right now. So that's probably where there's a little confusion. But the reason it's like that, and the cycles are overlapping, is because in order for this one to end, something else needs to change with this new thing. So for a lot of you, it does feel like this soulmate love, this love with, again, it can be romantic or friendship, this soulmate love that's kind of rushing in. And it feels like, and what's interesting with this is it feels like very opposites. Like you and this other person are probably very opposite, where it's maybe the yin and yang or the masculine and feminine energy. It feels like definitely divinely guided. Look at that shit. But it feels like, and yeah, Archangel Metatron, because, okay, that makes sense. And he literally has his hand on his heart. Oh, that's so sweet. But yeah, it feels like this very divinely, and Archangel Metatron has been popping up a lot lately. It feels like he's doing a lot with us right now and working with us a lot right now. They're saying orange. I'm not sure what his color is, but they are saying orange to me. So if you're seeing maybe orange orbs of light or orange different places, that might be him showing up for you. I think he maybe shows up different for other people, but for somebody needs to hear that the orange thing. So but yeah, it feels like it's almost like this opposites attract type thing, but it works. Like it works because you have enough in common. Like if you look at the two, are they unicorns? Yeah, if you look at the two unicorns, right? They're different colors, they have different energy, but they're both the same species. And it's like they have things that they enjoy and they like in common, but maybe the way they process and think is a little bit different. Maybe one of them's more intuitive, whereas one's more logical. One is more feminine, one's more masculine. It feels like a very opposite and different than you're used to in a good way. And so whenever this does come in, a lot of you, it feels like current energy. Like now. So if it hasn't come in for you yet, it should be coming in soon if the message is for you. It's a general reading, so if it's not for you, don't take it, obviously. But a lot of you, it feels like it's already kind of here and it's already kind of current, and it's this very opposite thing, but it almost feels like this gentle, calm, like love with this person. Not necessarily in love with a person, but like this very calm, gentle, like love, this admiration, this respect for each other. And it feels like you guys maybe feel something really deep, but you're kind of confused what it is because it feels very healthy versus toxic. And so some of you guys have been in toxic cycles where you're maybe not really sure what healthy feels like. Some of you also feels like that are married or in relationships already. There is shifts going on in your relationship where one's coming into the masculine, one's coming into the feminine, and you guys are really getting to know yourselves on a deeper level, and that's going to bring you guys like this deeper connection and deeper love. It feels like almost like you guys took like a step forward. This is not for everybody, obviously, but it almost feels like you guys took a step forward in your relationship where something kind of shifted and you guys came together and you really saw like what you remember about them from the beginning. And it feels like, it feels like this very beautiful thing. So what I kind of get with all of this together is this wheel is really shifting right now and is bringing a beginning. And if you read what the card says, it says new beginnings, ended delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. And it just feels like it is coming rushing in, but not in a fast-paced, heavy way. It's here. Like I just keep getting like it's here now. With the 3 of Gabriel, optimistic plans turn out as expected. It feels like a lot of you guys, this has been something you've been asking for in a while. It feels like it showed up different than you were expecting though. It feels like maybe it's a different type of energy than you were expecting, or a different type of situation. What are you trying to pull down? A different type of situation than you were expecting, or in some way, but it actually is a good thing. And I think you're starting to see where maybe your own perception of things, like to me, what I'm getting is some of you guys have like this control thing. You want things to be exactly the way you want them and the way they're coming in. And so it feels like this was a very unexpected type situation. Maybe different than you were looking for or asking for, but in a better way. And so what I get with that is there is something that is being planned. Some of you guys might be traveling, and we keep getting the travel card actually a lot. That's been coming out a lot, but it feels like this is like looking forward to the future and stop looking back at the past. Like that's what it really feels like. It feels like you guys really coming into this power and this strength within, and you not looking to the past and any of the past mistakes and baggage, and really freeing yourself from this. It feels like a big like emotional purge and like letting go of a lot of the past. They're saying for some of you, it's going to take a few more months for the past stuff to fully, like, some of you, it's going to be longer than a few months, but for it to fully clear and heal, it's going to take a while. But the things that transpired from that, so say the feelings of not feeling worthy or not enough, those are going to heal sooner than maybe, the trauma with your relationship with one of your parents or something. That might take, like a year or 2 years longer. But like the feelings you got from the situations are healing in this moment is what they're basically saying. So that's a good thing. That's not going to take as long, but healing takes time. And I think a lot of times we're really impatient with ourselves because we just want to feel better. We want to feel good. And we're taught that like, oh, these thoughts are supposed to be happy and good. But here's the thing, like in those times of discomfort, in those times of sadness, in those times of feeling confused and lost, that's where we really find ourselves. That's where we really understand the way we process things and the way we receive information, the way we see the world. Like that's where we really get to know ourselves more and make changes. So to me, those are always the moments of gratitude. Everything you should be grateful for anyway, but those are really those moments to, I feel like I'm going to cry again, to have that gratitude, because that's where so much growth takes place. And, we're always taught we don't want to feel sad. We don't want to have these emotions, but those emotions are powerful too. And those emotions have their purpose, and they're just as positive as the positive ones. Really, it's like our darker emotions and our shadow self is like, a lot of us try to hide from it, and our fear and our anxiety. And one of the things I tell people, and I've worked through this myself and I still do work through it, it's not just like, I understand it now, so I'm healed. But, one of the things is like with anxiety and fear is a lot of people don't want to feel it because it's uncomfortable. But what is it that it's doing? Our fear is trying to keep us safe. Our fear is trying to prevent us from making choices that hurt us in the past. And it's trying to guard us. And it's basically, fear is like a soldier for us. If you really think about it. Apparently they want me to do a separate message about this now, but fear is basically, like a soldier for us, like a warrior for us, to show us like, this is where there might be danger. This is where in the past we've made choices that were not safe. And so, hey, this reminds me of this. This is an area for us to look at and see, are we safe or are we not? Is this a healthy choice? It's an option for us to look at. Anxiety, that usually tells us there's some type of disconnect. A lot of times there's a disconnect with the ego and the heart, or the ego and soul, whatever, words you want to use. When you're feeling anxious, there's usually something there, or there's an insecurity, or there's a fear, generally speaking. So it's important for us to really stop thinking about them as negative and start seeing them as tools for healing and tools to help us with growing and understanding ourselves. And the more we actually work with the anxiety, the more we actually work with the fear and be patient with it and be consoling to it and loving and understanding, the less it comes up, the less heavy it feels, the less uncomfortable it feels. And that's because we're not used to dealing with it. And now Spirit's like, we're done with this robotic shit. Like, y'all are dealing with your shit. And so because of that, now we're really having to sit with this discomfort and not really like avoid it. And it's coming up whether you want it to or not. So now you're having to face it. You're not used to it. And that's why it's so uncomfortable. So once you actually work through it, you're going to see like where the changes take place. So, all right, what else do you want us to know? 22. 227. Wow, I've been seeing 227 for like literally over a year. Interesting. I just got insanely dizzy with this. Hold on. Hi, baby. I'll throw it for you. Give it a minute. I can't reach. Okay. You got to bring it to me. I can't reach that far. Okay. As soon as I just pulled this, I got so much overthinking energy. Holy shit, hold on. So much dizziness, so much overthinking energy, just this very fear energy, this very almost like debilitating fear energy. And on the bottom, we have mental conflict. So I don't know what this means yet. I'm gonna pull and see what they say. But whoever is going through this right now, if the cards can apply to you and this energy not apply to you. It doesn't have to be both. But for some of you who are in this very fearful state of energy where it's almost just like very overwhelming, very debilitating. You might be having heart palpitations, because I started feeling that as soon as this happened. Just feeling very stuck, almost like this fight or flight energy is what it feels like. Spirit is asking you to go take like a bath or go shower and release this energy. So if this has been coming up for you, when this comes up for you, their guidance is to go shower or take a bath. Take deep breaths. If you have lavender essential oil or another essential oil that calms you down, use that. Any type of floral they're saying is going to work. That's not like a heavy one, like a light floral scent. And take deep breaths to breathe through it. It feels like there's trauma coming out. That's what I'm getting, is some of you guys have some really deep rooted trauma coming out, and it's causing your body to like be in like fight or flight mode, in this paranoid mode. It feels like repressed childhood energy, for some of you it feels like teenager years, some of you it feels like sexual assault or domestic violence. So some of that's coming up. You might not have the memories attached to it, but you have the physical feeling in your body, and it feels really fucking heavy. Just ground yourself and breathe through it and comfort yourself, okay? All right, we got intuition, the waiting game, deception, and envy, victory and success. This feels more so future energy. It feels like near future, not current. What I get is there's something that Spirit is guiding you on. It feels like there's a mask currently in front of your face. There's something that you're not seeing clearly in a situation you're currently in, but Spirit, it feels like they're not giving you intuition on it right now, and it feels very intentional. It feels like there's something that it's like almost what it feels like is you're trying to get intuition on this, or you're trying to get an understanding of it, but Spirit's saying this is going to take time. There's something in this interim where you're not supposed to know things, and behind this closed door, you're going to start seeing something clearly once this door opens. But it's the waiting game. It's almost like you have to be in this period where it feels like we keep getting this a lot, very unknown period. And in there, you're going to learn and heal a lot of things. And from that, we have victory and success at the end of this. It feels like almost like that, like a mini cycle within itself, like that ending and the new beginning, but something a little bit, let me see if I can get like a clarifier. I think it's going to be different for everybody. Okay. Rejoice in celebration. So I love this because at the end of the first one, we got a lot of sixes. So this could have to do with family and home life or love. Ooh, she almost just knocked my tower over. We have victory and success, and then we also have rejoice and celebration at the end. So it definitely feels like something positive is going to come out of this. So we got moving on, firm foundation, material and spiritual prosperity, recognition and reward. So it feels like you guys are leaving something in the past and it's helping you build a foundation for something to come forward. It almost feels like some of you guys, this to me feels like a waiting thing and something balancing. You did it over here, Sage. Something balancing out. And because of that, you're going to be recognized and rewarded with material and spiritual prosperity in some way. They don't want me to go into this too much, so just take whatever resonates with you, and that's that. I was going to pull from mystical wisdom, but I'm not really feeling that, but I definitely want to pull from these ones I made with spirit. Is that it? Okay. Okay. On the bottom, I just saw 555, which is letting go. Love is coming your way, or you will rekindle the love in your relationship. Communicate. They're emphasizing communication and being vulnerable with others and really putting your walls down. It feels like a lot of you guys have a lot of like armor around you, a lot of walls around you, and spirit's trying to guide you and help you to be putting your walls down with other people and with yourself. And this is the message they keep giving me is your past is your past for a reason, and you are a different person. So the people coming into your life are different types of people than from your past. If you're choosing self-love and you're choosing taking care of yourself and you're choosing yourself first and you're doing the work when you're getting into relationships or jobs or friendships or whatever it is that you're going to, and you're doing it in a different way than you did in the past, you don't need to keep thinking that the past is going to come back and revisit you. That was lessons that you've already learned and healed. And they want you to focus on the now and the present and not hold past people or situations against the current person or situation, okay? We got work on self-love, set boundaries, slow down and take care of your own needs. You are important too. Remember that. That message is, oh, they just had me pull, okay, all right. The cards are upside down over there. They just have me pull like two from the top. And it says, take time for yourself and pamper yourself, and take 20 minutes to take a warm bubble bath with relaxing music. So definitely, guys, take care of yourself in these moments. What I'm getting is some of you guys are so busy with work or so busy with other situations or helping people that you're actually avoiding your own issues. You're actually avoiding some of your own stuff. Apparently, we're just taking a bunch more out. I don't know, they're upside down, so I don't even see what they are, but yeah. Okay, the other two that came out, I'm gonna read these first and I'll read the other ones afterward. You need to have more fun. Put on some music, let loose and dance. You're a beacon of love and light. Spread your light and joy to the world. God, we have like a major shift right now. Feeling dizzy as fuck again. Pick a book. Pick up a book you've been wanting to read and enjoy your time reading it. You are amazing and perfect the way you are. Start believing and knowing it too. Reach out to someone you miss and tell them. And pay attention to the signs, the numbers, animals, and songs your guides are giving you messages. And the message I get with that specifically is it does feel like they're disconnected from you. Your spirit team is disconnected from you. They're not. They're always there to guide you and help you. It just might feel like they're not there because they're kind of taking a step back and allowing you to get into that like Empress, Emperor energy where you're kind of taking control of your own life, and they're not guiding you as much because you don't need as much guidance, and they want you to empower yourself. So they are still there. They're just kind of taking a step back, but they're giving you signs, they're giving you numbers, they're giving you songs to like guide you and let you know, hey, we're here. We're still giving you messages. We haven't left, you know, this is kind of what's going on, and just very subtle messages. So some of you guys I'm getting to are going to be meeting people. You'll be randomly going places and having a conversation with a complete stranger, and or meeting somebody and really spontaneous, inconspicuous places where you're going to be getting angel messages and ascended master messages and spirit messages. And probably like I'm getting like some of you like a waiter at like a restaurant, or you go into like, they're actually showing me my crystal shop and how people come in thinking they're buying crystals, and then they usually get messages when they're in there. But like something like that, which is interesting because I feel like somebody's going to come in and give me a message now. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So now I'm like, interesting. I mean, I'm not going to complain. I feel like I'm usually the one giving the messages rather than receiving them. So at least from other people, I listen to the messages coming in usually anyway, but yeah, like that, like you'll be like in the grocery store and like somebody behind you is checking out and they're going to say something, to you that you've been thinking about or going through, but they're not even going to be aware that they're saying it to you and the impact it's going to have on you. So it's really interesting kind of what's going on right now. There's definitely a lot of angels and angels and archangels and ascended masters who are actually coming to this dimension right now, to the earthly dimension, and are actually channeling through people to give messages to people. So I think that's actually a really beautiful thing. Very interesting. I guess we are pulling from this. Hold on. Oof, I'm getting so dizzy lately. Not lately, like right now. Okay. We got Archangel Raphael, provider of healing for mind, body, and spirit. So Archangel Raphael to me is definitely one that heals a lot of our energy and stuck energy in our body, but also is like the angel of love, self-love, just think heart chakra, any type of love and connection into our soul, right? We have Epiphany, seek clarity, Dolphin, don't worry, be happy, and 7 heavenly virtues, keys to goodness. Yeah, I feel like there's still some type of situation going on where it's not the moment for clarity. I mean, we keep getting that message. There's just something that you don't need to know right now. But Spirit wants you to know that, like, even in this period of time, like, it's okay. Like, you don't need to worry about it. Even when there's discomfort, that's not an intuition that there's something wrong. It's something to help you understand yourself better and to release. That's really what it is. And it's to go with the flow. With the 7 heavenly virtues, keys to goodness, what I actually get from this is like that wish upon a star is coming true. Like, open yourself up to receiving. Like, there's something going on where you need to open yourself to receive, because some of you guys are blocking stuff because you have walls up. So it feels like the situation that you're in or going to be in is to help you with releasing walls around you and blockages around you. And to actually be able to fully open up and receive what you want. And I know for me, as I'm reading this, I already know what the message is for me. I have this walls up when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, just because I've been hurt so many times in the past. And it definitely is something where I definitely am more guarded. And it's interesting because when I'm talking to somebody, I can actually, depending on the situation, feel my wall actually go up or whatever, and I'm like, okay, and I breathe through it, and I actually have to do it, like, intentionally put my wall down and be like, they're not the same as this, like, it's okay, like, this is the past. And I literally do that to myself, and I'll literally console myself and be patient with myself. It's sometimes, you know, it's being aware of it and feeling that energy where you know, all right, I'm gonna give you an example, because there's obviously somebody who's going through this, is what they're telling me. It's like it feels like somebody who's starting a relationship. And I also get this feeling that there are some people who are currently in relationships that are struggling with this, where it's something that happens with that person where they say something or do something and it makes you scared because of the past, right? And so what happens is it makes you afraid. You don't communicate that, and you just put a wall back up, and you feel like, oof, I'm going to take a step back and disconnect because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get cheated on. I don't want to get lied to again. What Spirit's saying to you is that trigger is for you to work through it and realize that this situation is not the same as the past situation. This is a fear of yours, and this is why it's coming to the surface, is to show you this fear. You intuitively know, is this a person that I can trust? Is this a person that I feel that I can open up to? Is this a person that provides safety or comfort, you know, with me? Sometimes there's a struggle with understanding, especially if you've been in toxic relationships, because sometimes there's a discomfort when you're dealing with somebody healthy because you're not used to that. So it's hard for me to explain it to you guys in like a way where, because it's going to feel different to everybody. But really the big thing Spirit's asking you to do is when you are feeling triggered or you're feeling scared or the thought comes up where you're worried, like somebody's going to cheat, somebody's going to lie, somebody is going to abuse, somebody's not going to put me first, whatever, that fear is that comes up. Check in with your energy and see, am I putting a wall up? And if you're putting a wall up right there, that's like a key indicator that this is maybe something I need to heal. This is something that I need to realize, like, it's okay to put my guard down. I'm safe. If I wasn't, I would have already known, like, not to talk to this person. I would have already known whatever. If you feel comfortable communicating with your partner, I mean, if you're starting to date somebody, I don't know how comfortable you would feel with that, but if you are, like, there's nothing wrong with communicating that. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. I think a lot of times we are taught that, like, you shouldn't talk about certain things, like when you first start dating somebody, or you don't want to have them run away. But here's the thing, somebody who's emotionally mature, who has awareness, is going to appreciate, respect that you're being vulnerable and expressing yourself. And I know for me personally, like, if somebody says, hey, look, I've been cheated on in the past, and so, it gives me an insecurity when this happens, whatever. To me, that makes me more conscious of when I am having that conversation, that extra reassurance or validation for them, because I know that that's going to be something that triggers them when I talk about it. And so it's also doing that reassurance for yourself and that validation for yourself as well. So it's important to do that. It's important to have these conversations. Some of you guys are like married or in relationships where you're struggling with this, is what Spirit's saying. Some of you, it also feels like new relationships where you're getting triggered and you're struggling, and Spirit wants you to try to be vulnerable and open up and just tell that other person, like, hey, look, this is something that makes me insecure. This is something that makes me uncomfortable. This is why. It's not me telling you there's anything wrong with you. It's not me telling you that. I'm just expressing from my own personal experiences, and this is, why I feel this way. And taking accountability for your own feelings and stuff. The big message they're saying is they just don't want you to keep putting walls up or keep blocking yourself when these things come up. They want you to put your walls down and be more vulnerable and express this to people. That's pretty much kind of the message. And it feels like some of you guys have been in long-term relationships, and some of you are currently in them, where you're scared of expressing these feelings to your partner. You're scared of telling them, like, how you're feeling internally with things going on. Wow, I feel like I'm about to cry for somebody. It's okay to express yourself. It's okay to tell people. The thing I'm going to say is this, and I don't say this like lightly, and I don't say this in a way where I'm dismissing, anybody's relationship. But if you're in a relationship where you're being vulnerable and you're coming from a place of your value, and you're coming from a place of your needs being met, and you're coming from a place of being vulnerable and sharing your insecurities, if somebody is not able to hear you, if somebody is not able to understand you at that level and doesn't attempt to, because sometimes we have to actually work at understanding people, but if they're not even willing to understand you or ask you the questions or allow you to express that, there's an issue in your relationship. And to me, communication is really imperative in relationships. Without it, how are you going to be successful in a relationship? That's like having coworkers, but nobody's communicating. This is kind of the analogy they're giving me. Imagine you're at a job and it's like you guys are all working together as a team, but nobody's telling each other what they're doing, and they're all kind of just doing their own thing. So two people might be doing the exact same thing, and then something else gets missed out on. That's the same thing with relationships. If you're not communicating this, you're building resentment, you're building anger. Both parties are. And if you're not able to express these feelings and you're not able to express your needs, how is your partner able to meet them? How is your partner able to have these conversations with you and know what you want and need? And a lot of people that I talk to and I do readings for are like, oh, well, they should know. Well, they should know. Well, they should know. They shouldn't know, because what you need is different than what somebody else needs. That's making an assumption that they know what you need. I actually just did this with somebody a few weeks ago. I was like, well, I expected, like, if somebody messages you, you answer them the same day. Like, if you're interested, you answer them the same day. And I'm like, whatever. And I definitely learned that assumption thing, jumping to conclusions without getting clarity. That was a good lesson for me. See, I appreciate those moments and I appreciate those. And I was like, oh shit, okay, this is an area where maybe I need to ask for more clarity instead of assuming. In my mind, I just think everybody answers everybody the same day, you know, whether you're busy or not, like you make time to answer people. I don't know. That's just my assumption, apparently, because not everybody's the same way. I think it's because I have a lot of people in my life who are the same way I am with that. So yeah, but the same thing with any relationship. It doesn't matter if you're in it for 10 years, you know, if there's something that is a need not getting met, it's okay to re-express that. It's okay, you know, to say, look, like, I know we talked about this before, but this is something that's bothering me still, or whatever. It feels like there's a lot of like changes in our relationships going on right now. And I think that's why they're emphasizing this for me to kind of tell you guys. I am thinking about doing that Instagram story. So if you're not on my Instagram, it's Gaia Spiritual Healing. It's in the link below. Obviously, I'm going to post this on YouTube because it's super long, but it's in the link below. And I want to say maybe today or tomorrow, I'm going to do like an Instagram story where you guys can ask questions, and it could be about relationships or communications or things you're struggling with, or if you want to know about I have a lot of people who ask me different spiritual questions because they're always kind of curious. But I love when people ask me stuff, because even sometimes I'm learning, I'll channel and I'll actually learn things I didn't know before. So by people asking. So I'm going to do that probably like today or tomorrow, depending on my energy and what I'm doing. But if you want to go on there, and like I said, you can ask, you know, it's all private, so nobody's going to see that you posted it. If you just have a question on maybe how to be more vulnerable, or, you know, what are spirits, or what are this, you know, a lot of people ask stuff like that to me all the time. So I'm really curious to see what questions I get. But yeah, I'm going to definitely do that. I've been thinking about it for like a week now. So I'm going to definitely take the plunge and do it. So anyway, I hope that this message helps you guys, and just know that, you know, if you are in a weird phase, like, it will pass. You know, just remember that any thing you've been through, anything difficult that you've been through, it always passes. Like, things always change. You always grow. You always heal. Like, things always get better. So even when you're sitting in that, just remember it's not going to last forever. Things will get better. Okay. So I wish you guys nothing but love and light. I hope you have an awesome day.